This is the kind of excuse a narcissist would give if they were caught in the act. Thank you for clicking this video. The thing about narcissists is that they only have their own interests in mind. These folks are totally devoid of the faculties of regular cognition. They are blinded to life's essentials, like their children and their expenses, and unable to provide for them. Notably absent from their behavior is the requirement that we exercise caution with our possessions in order to ensure their longevity. It's the exact opposite of what you'd anticipate from someone with that sort of attitude. Before I forget, I'll also point out how slovenly and unsanitary they are. Here are some of the most typical ways that narcissists try to make amends for their transgression, even if it isn't in the conventional sense. Narcissists use the term making up to refer to the process of resolving an argument or restoring harmony after an argument with the intention of returning to the status quo ante. Much of this is to be anticipated when interacting with narcissists, given their tendency to hurt others and causing trouble for themselves. Because of this, interaction with them is complicated. They have no choice but to issue an apology. They don't like to take responsibility for their actions and would rather place the blame on others or external circumstances. Here I will discuss 3 ways in which narcissists try to avoid dealing with the problem. The first is that narcissists would rather not be reminded of their flaws if they can find someone else to blame. They want to foster an atmosphere where the past is forgotten. Know the setting, you are not to bring it up. Narcissistic people have a difficult time receiving criticism regarding their shortcomings, especially when it is aimed at them. If you act as if nothing has happened, people will assume that you care about them as much as you do yourself. Secondly, narcissists rely on a few factors to guarantee that their makeup or reconciliation session goes as planned. Their strategy often includes dragging out the match for as long as possible. Any narcissist can utilize this technique, whether they are a close relative, a friend, a coworker, or a love partner. Once the narcissist realizes they've upset you, they may allow you some space to recover before apologizing or addressing the matter. A person can want to avoid you for a while so that they don't have to deal with the awkwardness of having to discuss an old argument with you. After that, they come back to you with gifts and a kind smile, as like nothing had happened. A narcissist will always assume that you would fall for their charms and give in to their desires. Instead of dwelling on the past, you may try again by pretending it never happened. You'll keep letting the same cycle play out because narcissists don't evolve. They'll use the same old tricks to get you to take their hand again, but this time they're promising a better future if you do. They'll be up to their old pranks again before you know it. The narcissist may accuse you of being pessimistic and living in the past if you constantly bringing up the things they have done. They may treat your attempts to discuss the past as a sign of weakness and make every effort to dissuade you from doing so. And you should just move on with your life and pay attention to the present. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Narcissists always apply 2 sets of rules to their behavior. They are unable of accepting responsibility for their actions or apologizing when they do harm to others. They will be quick to place the blame on you if they believe you are at fault. They'd be happy to hit you over the head with guilt for hours until you admit to your mistakes and faults, which are not yours, and take responsibility for everything. This hypocrisy on their part has reached a point where we can no longer look the other way. The narcissist will give you as much slack as you need to avoid having to confront them about their behavior, so that you may get on with your life. An alternative is for the narcissist to sit there and act as if they agree with you when they really don't. It may appear that they are listening to you and interested in what you have to say, but this is merely a ploy on their part. In deference to the other person, the narcissist may say they'll take the blame, but in reality, they never have and have no plans to start now. The narcissist can find no flaws in their own behavior. When it wasn't their fault in any way, they try to make it seem like they're taking responsibility for it. This would imply that they have done nothing wrong and would likely lead them to apologize for everything and everything. People want to say, "Oh, I'm sorry," after they've done something wrong, but they don't like to take responsibility for their actions or apologize for them. A narcissist would seek out any excuse to look rational while evading responsibility. They are always coming up with excuses to evade accountability so that it appears that they are doing rationally. When everything else fails, narcissists will sometimes resort to seduction in order to get what they want. Instead of trying to work things out with the other person, a narcissist will resort to demeaning small conversation or, even better, sexual intercourse. Their expertise lies on exploiting your vulnerable emotional state for their own ends. The goal of the narcissist's manipulation is to convince you to forgive them by making you believe they deserve your trust. They intend to weaken your resolve and morale. Narcissists, whether they are men or women, utilize intimacy to trick their victims into thinking that they are sorry and just want to be close to them. This is, however, merely an attempt to deflect scrutiny away from the real problem. They don't want to hear about the specific mistakes they made. They would rather just kiss and make up than address the real issues that have been causing tension between them. They are satisfied with broad generalizations about the situation and empty promises of change. Narcissists have difficulty accepting responsibility for their acts and often feel no need to offer an apology to those they have wronged. If you want to mend fences with someone, you need to pretend like the other person did nothing wrong and the whole issue is just a misunderstanding. On the other hand, we are committed to shattering the narcissist's illusions and presenting them with the truth. Don't give them the satisfaction of ruining our lives a second time. Thank you for taking the time to watch this brief explanation, which I hope will prove useful. Use the space below to express your opinions and stories related to this topic. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell to get notified when new videos are uploaded. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. I'd appreciate it a lot.